Good morning children. I hope all you are fine. Today I am going to conduct video for grade 10 Social Economics Chapter 2 Rural Development. Rural Development. About rural development, before that I want to tell you that development. In last chapter you already heard about it, what is the development and how it is necessary the any country's population with requirement of the today's, because if any country is not developed and their skills, their social, economic and political matters and all the conditions not developed, is not increasing, is not be a better, then the country will not be going for the developed thing. Now what is the rural development? It means we know that one thing, that India is known as the land of villages, and not from the this time. It's from the past time also. It's known for the land of villages. It means in India there are many more villages are there. According to 2011 census, you know that better that after every 10 years, the some calculation which is done by the government, and this calculation is coming according to number, and those number known as the census. So after every 10, it means 2001, 2011. So according to the 11, we have a fresh data which is a 68.84% population in the present time also live in a villages. I mean it is a huge number of percent. That means almost 70% population in the present 21st century is all the time live in a villages. It means our country is also known as a villages countries. And it's not only this thing. After 70 years of independence, we got our independence in 1947. And after the 70 years of independence, our rural areas are the scene of backwardness. Because of some conditions which are not grown, some programs which are not implemented and not reached to the ground level, and some things which are missing in the all the departments. So that's why the lackness is coming, and because of this lackness, our rural areas still they are not reached the goal which we call development. According to socio-economic condition is not improved. According to our country's condition, villages socio-economic condition is not improved. When this condition is not improved, how we can imagine that the developed, those areas is considered as the developed areas or developed village, or the rural categories is being a developed areas. So, and on those areas, poverty has increased day by day, because obviously if any place there is a no food, no development, no work, no education, no qualification, so those areas poverty condition increasing day by day. And it's not only in rural areas, and especially in the urban areas most of the thing, but in urban areas we saw many industrialization things, but in the rural area there is not a such kind of thing. So that's why the problem is again coming for the rural areas. So it means poverty is increasing among the rural people. They are day by day becoming poor. And not only this, those people are dependent on agriculture facility only, because they are living in a villages. There is no irrigation facility properly, there is no transportation, there is a lot of other, education level is also down. So according to those factors, they all dependent on agriculture, and the agriculture is not with the modern equipments. It's also with the basic equipments which is from the last so many years they are going on. They really don't have a basic the modern machines also for the agriculture. They don't know the how the have to develop the agriculture methods also. How to do the better the agriculture method for the better crops production also. So this is the reason to that how we contribute. And when the people are dependent on agriculture, the socio-economic condition is not better, they are day by day their poverty is increasing. So how they give a contribution in a national income? If the people's condition is not good, how they can contribute their contribution or their investment in our national income. So obviously it is not effect on the people's side, it is effect on the countries also, for the national category also. So for this method also we have to see. Now what is the economic and importance of rural development? So the rural development meaning, it means the rural development refers to a process which is the economic and social upliftment of rural areas. We are living in urban areas, and when a child born in a urban area, the child from the childhood only he start to getting more facilities day by day, because in urban areas we are getting everything fast. Because the reason, first communication, transportation, industries and our technology. But those thing we are missing. Those things are missing from the rural area. So that's why as the development ways, the meaning we consider that upliftment and the development of the rural areas. It means it may be defined as the overall development of the rural to improve the quality of life of the rural people. Okay, if we imagine the life of the rural people or we imagine the life of the rural or urban people, do you think that both are the equal? Obviously not. In your phone, smartphones are there. But in rural area, they have smartphones. They also have smartphones. But whatever technology you are using, can they use? No. Whatever things you are provided, like according to education, can they provide it? No. So this is the difference between rural and urban people. This is the difference between the both of them, and this is the gap which we are considering, which we want to remove, and that's one thing which we are called upliftment of the rural people. It means it has integrated process for the which includes social, economic, political and spiritual development of the poorer section of the rural society. Now, segregation and slow growth of agriculture is the prime reason. Then why all this thing is going on? It means the first reason is the segregation and slow growth of agriculture. Our country is agriculture, we know that. But in agriculture, we are not started developing, we are not start to go for more advanced features. We are still based on the permanent feature, for the basic features. We are still not developing the advanced feature of the agriculture. So that's the main thing, that's the main reason for the lackness. Then more rural, the non-farm activities to be promoted which requires improvement like literacy, skill, health, sanitation, improvement of infrastructure, then transport, power, communication, market, credit, etc. It means if any place we want to do a development, means this is not only about the agriculture or about the money matter. It means we need all the improvement in the infrastructure, in the transportation, in the communication, in the building materials, in the condition, in the money matters, in the education matters, in the skill development matters. All those matters we need improvement. So that time only we can start to develop the people's skills. Now, the rural development consists of a broad set of activities and education apart from taking specific measure for ameliorating the condition of disadvantaged people in the rural area. Hence, we are a make of list of activities essential for the rural development. Then they are asked for, okay, which kind of list we need and what is included in the human resources for the developing of the rural areas. The first one is the special literacy, because literacy is an important thing. Without education, no one people can achieve their goals. That B.R. Ambedkar also say the same thing, that without education you can't change the society, you can't change your own thing, own life also. So literacy is important. Then especially female literacy. Okay, why the female literacy is important? Do you know every time when you saw in your home that your grandmother or your grandfather, from both of them, your grandfather knows to reading and writing, but your grandmother don't know. Are you think is it a fact? Is it not fact? But in the present time, you've seen that your mother, father are equally educated. You and your sister are equally educated. It means this female education is also important as like as the male education system. Female is also a main structure, a main a person who are handling are not only the family matter but our economic matter, our social matters, are all the matters also. So the person, females is also important as well as the male in the society. So in the present time, both education is required and important and give equality for this. Now, education and skill development. Okay, for the basic education, the government will provide. But what about the skill education? If someone want to go for the handicraft item work, someone want to go for the software development, someone want to go for the transportation development, someone want to go for communication development, then what about those skill development courses? The government should provide those development courses for the welfare of the public, for the as well as the rural also and the urban also. In urban, we saw many more companies, organizations, small coaching centers they provided. But the same thing, the government should provide those facilities in the rural areas. That time only they can start to skill development, and then if the skill is improved, they can do a better work, better experiment with their work. Now the next point is health, addressing both sanitation and public health. Okay, health facilities are also considered as a development. If your health is not good, you are not immune, you are not proper according to your immune system, then how you think that you can work? If I am not well, if I am not able to stand, if I am not able to work, then how I'll just think that I'll finish my work on time. So this health and sanitation, and the sanitation is also important. In the present time, you saw that you heard that many more diseases spreading. So that's your sanitation, health, your recovery, all the things are important for development. Now land reforms. It means the whatever land we are using for the agriculture or for the rural development, those land is also important, and that time by time they have to modify, they have to try to give more fertilizer, give more other things. So they have to start to giving a more production. Next, development of the productive resources of each locality. I mean, it's not considered every time that you have to go for the urban areas, then you buy all these things. Whatever things, materials you found in your locality area, you can try to use with that in the better techniques. This is also a way to just give some experimental work with some limited facilities, and this is also sometimes a better result. Now, infrastructure development like electricity, irrigation, credit marketing, transportation facilities, including construction of village roads and feeder roads, facilities of agriculture, research and extension, and information dissemination, etc. Okay, it's when your health is okay, all the things okay, but you don't have electricity, you don't have irrigation, then how you can the transport facility, then how you can just transport your things. I mean, in the present time, there are many more things, many more companies is coming according to electricity production, for the irrigation production, all these things. So this is also required for the development of the rural areas, because especially this type of lackness we are seeing in the rural area, there is less electricity. Maybe in the summertime they have to do the power cut. Maybe irrigation facilities they depend on the rainfall only. Transportation facility is not good. There is a lackness of the transport facilities. The roads are not proper. So infrastructure are not good. They don't have an area where they can store the grains. So those type of infrastructure they have to build. Government should build. So according to those they can improve their quality. Now, specific program for elevation of property. Some programs the government should be starting. So according to those, the poverty should be. It means they have to try to provide the loans, try to provide education, try to provide some food items as a daily basis, as a free basis. So according to those, the poverty will be less, and they try to do work. Now, what is the importance of the rural development? According to importance, rural development includes agriculture and non-agriculture development. It contributes it contributes not only to the rural but also the overall development of the country. When we talk about development of the rural or urban, it's not about only those people who are living in a village or those people who are living in urban. It's about the whole country, because according to whole country we are considering our national income, our growth, our GDP, all these things. So if those things are not proper, if the one single part is also not proper, the other part can't work. Like if your one leg is swelling, is injured, then you can't stand with the second leg. It means you need support for the both legs to stand, to walk, to run. So rural and urban, these are the two parts. If the one part is not working properly, the other parts can't work, or maybe the work is also there is a not full benefit. So the both parts are the includes for the development, and both need to focus and the more techniques. Now the increased farmers comes will create a greater demand for industrial products and services. Like there are more things which they have to provide. Like in the present time, the farming facilities is also increasing, and they are providing many more new things for the farmers, for the normal people. So this is also a new technique. Now the better health also result in a higher work participation by the people and increased output. Agro processing, small scale and cottage industries will develop, leading to gradual transformation to the village, and migration to cities will be reduced. All this contribution towards the reduction of the poverty. Okay, small scale industries. You know that the small scale industries, cottage industries, those are a thing according to those, the migration which is from the rural villages to cities, that will be end. Because if they already got a work, already got a job in their own areas, then it means they have work for their own areas, and no need to go and no need to migrate for other areas. So those all are the important things for the development. Now we have to see about decentralization. Then what is a decentralization? It means providing administration power and the responsibility of developing the village to the people themselves. It means we are providing some administration power to understand that this is your administration thing, you can start ruling by your own, and now you try to understand that what is the responsibility to change that particular area. If like I am giving an example, like if the principal I am giving authority to any particular teacher that this is your class and you are the class teacher of that children, that particular class. Now you have to understand what is the importance of that class, and now you have to try to control it. So that time that person will be understand, okay, what is the requirement of those children, what is the requirement of those children's parents, and what I have to do for this thing. So the same thing, administration thing, which is important, which is understand to what is your responsibility. According to this, it is also a process that aims of a planning and development from below. It is also a process that aims to the planning, and this process was also called as the Gram Swaraj by Mahatma Gandhi. You know, Mahatma Gandhi also consider, every time consider that villages is the main area or main thing from the India. In the villages only India's main culture is there. So we have to secure this culture. So that's why we every time consider the Gram Swaraj. It means the panchayat, according to this Gram Swaraj method, decentralized reduces various kind of exploitation, because according to urban, according to if the administration power is not spreading, the work will be not proper and the exploitation will be done. So exploitation is reduced, uphold human independence and dignity, and nutritious human values like a compensation and cooperation will be increased. Now, according to this Gram Swaraj method, in 73rd amendment came in 1993, which is amendment known as the Panchayati Raj system for India. and not only for the Karnataka but the whole over India panchayat. It means a three-tier level administration system which is based on a district, block and villages, and especially for the rural areas. So it is came on 1993, and the act confirmed constitutional status to the panchayat institution. As per the act, as a three-tier of the panchayats has come into existence. Key features of the panchayat Raj system adopted in India. Some key features are there which is adopted by India. Those are the following: the three-tier structure, which is a district, taluk and village. The three-tier means first one is the district, second one is the taluk, and third one is the village level. This three level is coming according to, so that's why it is also known as three-tier system. Now next is the direct and periodic elections. This all are selected, those the member of those like district, taluks and villages, Sabha, Gram Panchayat, district level, all these are elected by the peoples only, the normal publics only. Now reservation seats are done for the SC and ST categories, which is the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Now financial administration responsibility and budget audit requirement for those all things. A strict procedure of dissolution, supervision of panchayats and mandatory election within a 6 months of duration. Like the same kind of structure they try to build according to state government. So it means those are the people who are just chosen for those posts. They have to feel the responsibility for those areas, for those work, and provision of executive and support staff. So in the Karnataka present time, if I am talking about Karnataka present time, there are 30 districts. 30 districts. In the 30 districts, there are 176 taluks are there. And if you talk about the villages, then 6,022 Gram Panchayat we also call a Gram Panchayat is there. So we are talking about the three-tier level of the Panchayat Raj system. That the first one is the 30 district, and talking about the Karnataka only. In the Karnataka only, there are 30 districts. In the 30 districts are divided, those are subdivision of 176 taluk, and the 176 taluk are subdivided in 6,022 Gram Panchayat. So those is the process of decentralization. It means the central part is never come. They have to divide and work. So children, this is the meaning, importance and the decentralization part of the rural development. Today I am going to bind my session.